What's going on, guys? How are we? How are we, lads? Welcome back to game number 6 in this 11-game series between TyRanT BacT and SY Lix. The score currently stands at 4-2 in favor of BacT after he clinched the previous mine war on Arabia, and back with a vengeance is SY Lix, looking to try and play his hand, play a strong hand, play a strong game here against his opponent BacT. And today, and in this map, this is a little bit different to what we were expecting in the previous games. We have seen Arabia matchups, and I think there's a Nomad. I believe there's a Nomad for the first game. In this game, though, we have what looks to be Mongolia for something just a little bit different. Not to mention the civilizations as well. But before we do that, before we get into all those sorts of things, let's introduce the two players, introduce where they are, and all that sort of good stuff as well. So let's start with the man in the lead, TyRanT BacT or BacT, however you would like to pronounce his name, up toward the northern sort of northwestern area of the map, playing in the yellow trunks today, and he is playing as the Vikings. His opponent down to the southern, sort of toward the southern corner of the map, also playing in the Vikings, but playing in the player 1 blue color here, is SY Lix. And like I said, the map we have today is Arabia. Now this is not Arabia, sorry, is not Arabia, it is Mongolia. Now, this is going to be quite interesting because the playstyle between Mongolia and Arabia, it can be somewhat similar, and it can also be somewhat different. Obviously, Mongolia, with all these cliffs, these natural wall-offs given or generated by the map, means that drush-fast castles are pretty straightforward and pretty simple to do, because you can wall off and secure your base or your starting area really easily. And sometimes we might even just see right off the bat, oh, cheeky BacT stealing one of Lix's sheep there. Anyway, as I was saying, sometimes we might just see a regular, just a naked fast castle, or not naked, but wall up and fast castle like we saw BacT do in the previous game. So let's have a look at their maps, because that could also play some sort of a role in the decision making for these two guys regarding their strategies. So looking at Lix's map here, obviously on Mongolia as well, very simple to have nice wood lines. As we can see here, Lix has chosen to take a really safe and secure wood line at the back of his base. He does have a forward berries or forward berry patch, as well as his forward main gold, which is a little bit of an issue for him. Does he have any back resources? No, he doesn't actually have any back resources, and there could be a bit of a scout scuffle here. Looks like Lix has found the scout of BacT, and he gets the first hit. BacT is going to want to be getting the heck out of there, because he's not going to win that fight. I believe Lix did get the first pick, and yeah, now Lix is starting to take that fight quite convincingly, but BacT has managed to nick off with a second sheep here, I believe. Yep, there's the first sheep there. So Lix has managed to, or BacT rather, has managed to take 2 sheep from Lix here, but it looks like now Lix losing out on the hill battle there, on the hill bonus against BacT, but both of those players are just going to back out of there now anyway. Looking at Lix's map, continuing to look at his map, that is, we see that he does have a stone and a gold sorted towards the back of his base, which can be secured quite easily if he walls off this little portion, this little choke point here. Further forward gold and another forward gold as well. So Lix's map in terms of gold and or mineral placements and berries as well, not too fantastic, to be completely honest with you. What about BacT's map? Right off the bat, right off the BacT, BacT's map, it doesn't actually look too much better, to be honest with you. He's gone for a woodline at the front of his base. He does have another one that he can retreat to, but this woodline here is very easily towerable. A tower coming up here from Lix could spell the end of this of this woodline here for BacT, which would be a little bit of a problem for him. He does have a, it's not bugged, but it's a really crappy gold. Stone, sorry, out here toward the back of his base as well. The front of his base, he does have another stone well out to the front of his base. His golds are all forward except for this pile here, which again can be easily towerable with a tower here if Lix does decide to go for that. So all in all, I'd actually say that Lix maybe has the there's not too much in it, to be completely honest with you. Both of them have pretty horrible forward resources, but they can be secured somewhat with some funky wall offs. So a couple of wall offs back here for BacT. Yeah, just across this section and this section here. We'll keep this gold here nice and safe from any melee attacks from Lix. But this front, this gold out here in the stones and his main gold going to be a little bit more difficult to try and secure. But we can see a barracks being thrown up here for BacT, so we're definitely going to be seeing a drush coming in from him, or maybe some funky man-at-arms play. We'll have to wait and see how that one goes down. And Lick's choosing to do the same sort of thing. He's going for a drush, as we can see the militia are popping out here as well. And continuing a bit of a wall off at the front of his base. It might have been a bit more beneficial to just plonk some palisades there and then across there as well, and maybe even across here, but I suppose it comes down to the fact that I suppose it comes down to the fact that we are spectating the game, right? So it's easier for us to see the potentially the more beneficial options. But Lix is losing out there, losing his scout. That's going to be a little bit detrimental because he hasn't actually scouted anything to do with BacT's economy. He doesn't know where his main gold is. He doesn't know where his wood lines are, although he can assume that BacT's wood lines are probably back here somewhere. But the big thing is that he's not going to scout this drush coming forward. But if anything, he might be able to anticipate it, because if he's trushing on a Mongolia map, maybe his opponent will be as well. The good thing about this this sort of building placement for Lix is it does create sort of a natural or a man-made shield across the front of his base to try and protect his resources. But here we go, the militia now moving in. Is Lix noticed anything? No, he hasn't noticed. He's only sent two of his militia forward as well, whereas BacT has got all three of his militia now in hot pursuit. But this is still going to be an okay fight for BacT, even though he did have the hill advantage acting against him there, and a lot of damage being done on that militia there for Lix. Of Lix for free, and now it's just going to come down to Micro, who can get the hill bonus and all that sort of good stuff. But it looks like these drushes are more or less going to cancel each other out. Obviously, BacT probably going to come out a little bit more on top, seeing as though he does have his scout in the mixture as well. But it looks like I said, more or less. Oh no, BacT should have got his scout out of there. But like I said, it looks like these drushes are more or less going to cancel each other out. But I think Lix grabbing a little bit more value for his, a little bit more bang for his buck there, at least managing to take out the scout of BacT, so he's going to be in an okay position as BacT decides to wall up a little bit more at home, and now he has complete and utter safe and surety that he can take his main gold at the front of his base quite comfortably and quite easily. So both players up on 27 population at the moment. Won't surprise me if we see them clicking up. Lix is a little bit further behind on his food count. I can't actually tell you why that is, but he'll be able to click up very, very soon. As well as we've seen BacT has already clicked up. And Lix is going to be going up with a few more villages, 2 more villages by the looks of it, so going up with a slightly stronger economy than his opponent. But it looks like a Drush Fast Castle based on the amount of farms that both of these players have up at the moment. 5 over on berries. A Drush Fast Castle looks like it'll be on the cards for both of these guys here. Obviously, once the Vikings reach the feudal age, that free wheelbarrow just accelerates their economy so much, and it looks like they're both going to be in an okay position to be able to click up to the castle age. But in saying that, what have we here? Cheeky TyRanT BacT pushing forward with 4 villages. He's not moved out to stone or any such thing like that. It looks like he might be coming forward and maybe tower walking his way in here. Obviously, if he puts a tower out here on the front of Lix's base, he'll be able to quite comfortably take this stone out here from of Lix. But Lix is pushing out with one of his militia now, his remaining militia, as it were. And he might be able to spot this. Let's go over to his point of view and see what he sees. He sees that one militia there from BacT, and BacT doesn't want him to be able to see these forward villages, but he has now. Lix is fully aware as to what's going on as BacT starts creating a few more militia as well. Maybe even the man-at-arms upgrade is looking like it could be a likely avenue for BacT to push forward with. And Lix is going ahead and doing the right thing here, walling up his base, trying to negate any sort of aggression, any sort of pressure that BacT might be pushing in with, as BacT does indeed research the man-at-arms upgrade. And with the attack bonus against buildings that man-at-arms get, these palisade walls are not really going to be able to stand up to too much of a beating from the man-at-arms here, as BacT does put down a watchtower and a double archery range forward as well. This is really, really nice aggression, really taking it to Lix, who looked like he wanted to be going up with a Drush Fast Castle. He's going to put up a defensive watchtower now as well with 7 villages against the 2 from BacT. His watchtower is going to go up a lot sooner, and it's going to go up it's going to go up a lot sooner than BacT's one, as BacT sort of backs out of that tower as it were. But a nice defensive watchtower here from Lix is going to be able to secure this front portion of his economy for the time being, as a defensive archery range gets thrown up inside of Lix's economy as well. A couple of skirmishes, defensive skirmishes, going to be in a nice position are going to be able to put Lix in a nice position here, but it will delay his castle time. And that's more or less what we were expecting here as well from Lix. He wanted to be going for a Drush Fast Castle, nice and safe behind his walls. But BacT pushing forward with his man-at-arms and archer aggression is going to say no, no, no. That is not going to happen. Not on my watch, especially with these these defensive skirmishes having to come out from Lix. It's definitely going to delay his castle time quite considerably. With Fletching coming in now as well, it's going to be a really, really nice upgrade. Give the skirmishes that he's producing out of his double ranges inside of his base a little bit more of a punch as he starts to wall off and create a funnel towards his town centre. Doing everything perfectly well here is SY Lix to be able to keep himself nice and safe and sort of put a little bit of a damp and a little bit of a stop into this of this aggression from BacT. BacT not really doing too much with this at the moment. Man-at-Arms are now in though, and Lix creating that funnel off. If Lix can now just get inside his town centre now, he's going to be in a good position to be able to pick off quite a lot of this army here, none of which have terribly high pierce armor except for the skirmishers at the moment. And BacT recognises the situation and moves out of the way of the town centre fire. What I'm interested to know though is, does BacT know that there's wood being taken? Yeah, BacT knows that there is a lumber line being constructed here, and it looks like he might even be wanting to move his villagers around to tower this area here. Let's wait and see what his villagers are doing. Is a tower going to come up behind this wood line for SY Lix? BacT has the resources to do it, and there we go, a tower coming up behind this wood line here for SY Lix. It's not the end of the world because again, Lix can just retreat back to any number of safe lumber lines, but it is going to be a little bit annoying because obviously the villagers in transit not going to be gathering resources during that time. So in terms of the idle time that BacT is getting from these towers coming up on the wood lines and the berries here from Lix, BacT is in a really, really nice position. Villager counts are dead even though. Military counts more or less even here as well, slightly or a shade ahead in favour of TyRanT BacT at the moment. Lix has moved over quite heavily onto stone as well, perhaps foreseeing the fact or the future here in that BacT is going to be wanting to put up a few more towers around his economy and thinking, right, I need to be able to counter this with towers of my own. Moving over here and taking some stone to be able to defend against any eventual towers from BacT that might be coming in. What's going on back at home for BacT? A bit of a weak economy. It looks like a lot of his a lot of his push here, a lot of his aggression is definitely going in, or a lot of his attention is going into the aggression. His economy back home barely able to keep villagers coming out, as well as all this aggression coming in at the front of Lix's base. As another watchtower gets thrown up here. This is a really, really nice position to be able to push in from as well, but Lix is going to be able to potentially deny this. If he focus fires the villagers, he's going to be in a really, really nice position, is SY Lix, but he's going ahead, he's trying to take down the army. This is not potentially not a fight he wants to be able to take without the cover fire of a town centre and tower, but he does the right thing and garrisons inside both of those buildings, and he's able to push back this forward aggression here, at least for the time being, from BacT. He doesn't want to continue this fight. This is a bit of a silly fight, fighting underneath the tower, and yeah, he's also getting back now. So it looks like both of these players not wanting to throw away any units for free, obviously, and both players playing it very, very intelligently, as we can see. Is BacT on stone back at home? Yeah, BacT has to be on stone back at home, and indeed he is, and this is going to be... it's going to put BacT in a nice position, in my opinion, if he manages to maintain all this, maintain his foothold at the front of Lix's base, because upon the castle age he's going to be able to plonk down a castle and produce an even stronger hold over the front of Lix's economy. But like I said, there is so much room back here for Lix to be able to boom back into that. If he loses this front portion of his base in terms of food economy, he's going to be in an okay position, but this is not going to put him in an okay position at all. Although in saying that, a lot of nice micros are coming out from Lix here, but a lot of skirmishes going down for both players, a lot of archers as well, and the man-at-arms from BacT still managing to do a little bit of damage, but not anymore, says Lix's tower, which fires the final volley, or the final arrow into the heart of that man-at-arms from BacT, from Yeah, from BacT. But it looks like skirmishes are the way forward for both of the players here. Obviously, to get defensive skirmishes out for Lix was a must, and the skirmishes trade very, very cost effectively against the archers that BacT was initially fielding. So he didn't want to go ahead and create any more archers until he got a decent amount to be able to push forward with them. Switching into skirmishes again is going to delay both of these guys' castle age times at the moment. But in saying that, Lix is now advancing to the castle age, still delayed, so I was still right in that respect. But Lix is in a really nice position as he's clicked up with just one less villager. Or yeah, he's on one less villager than BacT at the time of clicking, but he has managed to keep his economy rolling really nicely. He's got a market up as well, or he's got a market coming up as well with +1 defense and +1 attack being done on his ranged units. BacT throwing up another tower here. Just a little bit further back, a little less ambitious than the previous tower that he tried to erect outside of Lix's economy, and it's also going to be unbeknownst to Lix here. So he's going to be in an okay position as the market gets thrown up back at BacT space as well. Looks like he's going to be wanting to try and buy, sell, and trade his way up to the castle age, probably sensing that his opponent is also up at the moment. So now the question remains, what are both of these players going to do once the castle age comes in? Well, we can see that BacT is, relatively close to be able to put down a castle with the amount of villages he has on stone at the moment back at his base. He's going to be in a perfect position to be able to plonk a castle right up at the front of Lix's economy, that is. So I can imagine that is what we will see from BacT. In response, Lix already has the stone. He's already got the resources to throw up a castle, so he's going to be in an okay position to be able to do that as well. And he's going for stables now. Really, really nice option. Even though Viking Knights, not the strongest knights around that you'll ever see, owing to the fact that they do not get bloodlines, ladies and gentlemen. The amount of skirmishes here that BacT has got, just sort of chilling just at the front of Lix's economy here, is going to be cleaned up quite comfortably with a few knights with +1 defense having been researched now as well. So double stable knight production with the siege workshop to boot is going to be able to push all this sort of aggression here from BacT away. Crossbowman upgrade coming in now, as well as Bodkin Arrow and Bowsaw for SY Lix. So like I said, he's going to be in a nice position as the knights start to stream out as well. Siege Workshop being created, and BacT, all he has to do now is pray to any god that he decides that he needs to pray to be able to try and hold his aggression out the front of Lix's economy at the moment. A defensive castle, yes, like a defensive pushback, offensive sort of castle coming in from Lix as well. Again, exactly what we expected to see. It's going to create a nice defensive stature out the front of his base, and it's going to provide even further protection for his main gold out here at the front of his base, which was the main issue, really, of all of this. That was the main issue that Lix had to really try and defend against, and he's done it beautifully. He's done it fantastically, and the knights now and the crossbows and the skirmishers able to clean up this pretty much all skirmisher army here from BacT. I'm saying that there's still 5 skirmishers buzzing around from BacT, but that's just because I haven't been focused fired down yet. Castle up. Battering ram coming out now as well. No mangonel, none of this mangonel business from Lix. He wants to try and clear out the front side of his economy quick, smart. The castle age now having been researched for TyRanT BacT. What is he doing? Has he got anything interesting going on at any other side of any of Lix's economy? No, he does not. All the action, as we expected, right at the front of Lix's base here. What is going on? A siege workshop being thrown up for BacT now as well. Another watchtower coming up out here toward the western side of Lix's economy is going to stop this stone being taken pretty bloody quick smart. But yeah, okay, so we have a siege workshop coming up for BacT, and it looks like these villagers coming forward to try and plonk down a castle. Where is BacT going to choose to put it? There's no way he would have these 5 villagers forward, 6 villagers now, if he wasn't planning on building a castle, I imagine, right smack bang in the middle of this area here. But it could be a little bit of a, I don't know if it's going to be pretty ballsy, because there's quite a lot of army, or a little bit of army here buzzing around from Lix, so maybe not the best position to be able to put the castle in at the moment. But in saying that, the castle goes up as Lix retreats away from this area at the front of his economy. Town Watch rather, now coming in for Lix as well, going to provide that little bit of extra vision to be able to see if there are any more towers or any other pieces of aggressive play coming in from BacT. Lix also throwing up a second town centre out here toward the eastern side of his economy as the knights from Lix push out. He's going to see this castle going up now as well. He knows exactly what BacT is doing. He's going to continue this forward aggression, but Lix is not going to be able to push this back. There is no way in heck that Lix is going to be able to stop this castle going up. This one ram not really doing too much in the way of negating this castle going up, but is managing to take down a watchtower at the front of his base, as well as one of the archery ranges here. But BacT investing so much of his economy into this forward aggression. We can see that he is starting to fall behind just a little bit in terms of economy. Obviously, every 30 seconds there's going to be a villager lead of +1 in favor of SY Lix, who has now clicked up to the Imperial Age. Fantastic play. This is always a fun thing to see with the Vikings, obviously, with their economy pushing forward so heavily and accelerating so quickly, owing to the free wheelbarrow and free handcart. This fast Imperial Age coming in for both players. What fantastic play. Both players clicking up with pretty much identical villages and pretty much clicking up with the same amount of time. SY Lix going up. Actually, Lix is in a better position because he's clicked up first and he's gone up with one extra villager. So he's going to be in a nice position, but at this stage in the game, one villager doesn't really matter too much. But both players clicking up to the Imperial Age owing to the incredibly strong Viking economy. Elite Skirmisher now coming in for SY Lix as well. With the monastery having come out, obviously he's going to be wanting to try and snag some of these relics. Relics being a very important source of gold, passive source of gold income. In a 1v1, and that's the other thing that we have to consider here as well. BacT has got map control at the moment. All this aggression at the front of Lix's base means that he's not able to push out, at least not in this direction, and BacT is going to be able to know exactly what's going on if Lix tries to push out on the eastern side of his base, owing to the fact that he has actually walled Lix in. That's quite sweet. He's making sure that Lix is nice and safe, but like I said, there's no way that Lix can actually push out of his base to gather extra resources in other areas of the map without BacT being aware to it. So BacT playing a very intelligent game at the moment with Light Cav. Wow, okay, Light Cav coming in now for Lix as well. Maybe not the strongest option. Obviously, the Viking cavalry line it leaves a lot to be desired, to be completely honest with you. A third archery range now coming up. Well, third having in total being built, but obviously the second one for BacT, seeing as though he did lose his front one here to one of the battering rams. From Lix, a second town centre being thrown up for BacT as well, but the light cav upgrade is an interesting one. Maybe he's doing it to look for some scouting. His scouting is pretty poor, to be honest with you. Maybe just to get something in there to snipe down some siege that he's expecting to be popping out from his opponent. But anyway, Bracer coming in. That's more or less the upgrades we expect to be seeing. Bracer and Chemistry and Ballistics and Arbalest, which is exactly what we're seeing here from BacT as well. So it looks like it could just be an Arbs and Ram push that we normally see. Maybe with some onages mixed in. Some onages mixed into that army composition from both of these guys would be fantastic to see, in BacT just finishing off his wall off out here to the western flank of Lix's economy. Trebuchet coming straight out from Lix, although it's under fire of this castle. A little bit unfortunate for him, but it unpacks now and therefore gains more PS armor than it did previously. A Treb coming straight out for BacT as well, so it looks like we're going to transition into a complete and utter Treb war between these two players with the castles at the front of this base. And this is exactly what I was saying. Lix is recognizing the situation, recognizing that he's only got a finite amount of gold left here inside of his economy. He needs to push out. Now BacT, he's going to get attack notifications, he's going to get warnings from this, and he's going to know exactly where to send some parts of his army to be able to snag and snipe any villages or any economy that Lix tries to push out there. And here we go. We can see that there could be some mangonels creeping around there to try and put a stop to that, as well as these arbalists now moving around that side as well from BacT. So really clever play from BacT at the moment. Again, villager lead isn't only... okay, the villager count is pretty much exactly the same, but it looks like in terms of this Treb war, the castle from BacT is definitely going down owing to the fact that these trebs from BacT are not actually attacking the castle of Lix at all. But here we go, there's no way that Lix is going to be able to push out here now, because this battering ram is probably going to be taken down, albeit very, very slowly, by these arbalests and mangonels coming in now from BacT as well. But Lix has managed to grab a little bit of a victory, a little bit of a moral victory, like not a moral victory, but a minute victory out here to the front of his base, taking down the castle that was providing such a strong foothold inside the economy here from BacT, or of BacT on Lix. But now Lix he can't push out here, not with a mangonel, with Onager. Yes, we can see Onager coming in now for BacT as well, and that's going to be really, really potent for Lix, potent for BacT, because that's going to be it means he's going to be able to take down this whole ranged army here from BacT so much easier. Another siege workshop being thrown up at the front of Lix's base as well, and extra few siege workshops being thrown up for both players, with Capped Ram coming, or having just been researched for for Lix, that is. So it looks like he's going to be wanting to get to get control of the front of his base, which is definitely an ideal situation for him to be in. The scores at the moment for both players awfully close. There's not too much in it at all. It's going to come down to decision making and unit compositions to determine the outcome of this game. It doesn't look like an economy lead is going to be too terribly in favor of either player here, although I would say upgrade wise Lix is going to be in a much nicer position, as he's just researched Thumb Ring and a university being thrown up now for him as well. I don't believe BacT actually has a university. Oh, I stand corrected, BacT does have a university, with ballistics coming in now as well, but the Thumb Ring is going to be a really crucial upgrade. And here come the light cav from Lix. This was probably, or definitely, what he was looking to get them out for, just getting in there to try and snipe down some of the siege here from BacT. Obviously the light cav, a bit of a pause in the game, and now they, the pause is now done. But the light cav here from Lix, obviously a really nice addition to be able to snipe down some of the siege, as he does the flank maneuver, coming in here and taking down an Onager here from BacT as well. The light cav, having done their job, now can just pretty much go ahead and die for the time being. Onager from BacT getting a nice few snipes out here and a couple of trebs. Very expensive loss for SY Lix, as we can see out there at the front of his base. But it looks like BacT and Lix, both of them just trying to push each other here. BacT just trying to hold his aggressive push at the front of Lix's base, and Lix doing all he can to push out as best as he can. But for the time being, BacT is keeping him cooped up inside of his economy, with chemistry coming in now as well for BacT. And like I said, the map control is just so heavily in favor of BacT. But in saying that, look at Lix go. If he's gaining back the front of his economy here. If he can just keep this momentum going, if he can just keep a flood of light cav and skirmishes and just anything that he can, a couple of cat rams, maybe siege rams in the mix as well, he's going to be in a really nice position to just be able to steamroll through and really wipe out BacT's economy. The villager lead though, has BacT's got another town center up out here toward the northern corner of the map. The villager lead is starting to pull quite heavily in favor of BacT here. It's sort of a double-sided sword for Lix. He's going to fall behind economically, but he is going to be able to put more of his resources into army. And here we go, a huge, not really huge, but a nice Onager shot there coming in from BacT, and this army out here to the right-hand side of Lix's economy is going to be cleaned up quick smart. But in saying that, any more good Onager shots? No, but another couple of Onagers might be going down for nothing here. Or is BacT going to keep them alive? He's not going to keep them alive, is he? He is going to keep them alive, with the arbalest firing in behind on these poorly upgraded light cav, only +2/+2 having been done on them, managing to snipe down one Onager. I guess you could argue that it's worth it. Obviously food for the Vikings is not so difficult to come by owing to their fantastic economy, but in saying that, that was a lot of resources to not throw away, but to invest in just taking down one Onager. Perhaps an Onager upgrade of his own might put Lix in a bit of a better situation, or maybe even going Cavalier. Obviously, it's not the most expensive upgrade, and they do have a little bit more beef to offer when it comes to tanking arrow fire. But out here on the right-hand side of Lix's economy, he's having to defend against another trebuchet push here. But we've seen previously that Lix is actually pretty adept. He's pretty okay when it comes to these trebuchet wars, and indeed with no villagers out here able to repair this trebuchet here from BacT. BacT is going to lose that trebuchet, and the light cav comes storming out to take down the Onager here from BacT as well. But conversely, out to the north of Lix's economy, this is just like a pendulum. This is just like a swing. You go back over here where Lix is starting to push everything back, and then BacT manages to come in at the front of Lix's base and start putting a lot of pressure down there, as well as BacT is getting his cheek on and moves out here to the left-hand side of Lix's economy and starts taking one of Lix's extra golds as well. And again, it's the map control. It is completely and utterly the map control that we are seeing here coming in from BacT. It's just putting him in such a nice position when it comes to being able to keep the to keep the gold flowing and keep those all important onagers and arbalists and rams when he decides to mix them in as well. But yeah, it's so hard for Lux. You can see he's trying to push out here as well, just to try and retake some of this gold out here to the right hand side of his economy. But as soon as he does that, Lix is there with a decent amount of army. He's got a couple of arbalists, a handful of arbalists here, which can two-shot Cavalier, not Cavalier, the light cav here from Lix, and some onagers to boot. These skirmishers are not going to stand up to much from these onagers. We can see one of them getting a huge amount of hot molten lava just piling on top of his head, and Lix starts to push out, but really, really nice quick walls from BacT. How on earth did he see that coming? I have no idea. Fantastic. This one skirmisher is going to get taken down pretty bloody quick smart, but fantastic quick walling coming in from BacT. And what is this? Why is there a stable here from Lix? That is fantastic. He's going to get a monk, maybe. Two-shot the monk. Yeah, he gets the monk. I did not see that. How the heck was there a villager that managed to get all the way from Lix's economy into BacT's and plonk down a stable? Ah, well, BacT's sorting it out now. He's going to wall it in with houses as soon as he gets around to it. We did see Lix moving out here with some villagers, just trying desperately to get any extra resources that he can on the map. It doesn't look like there's none that he can safely take. He's about to run out. Yeah, he's got 50 gold left on his main gold. BacT is taking one of his secondary golds out there toward the left. Out here on the right is very, very weakly under the control of Lix, but that could be put to a very, very sudden end if this army of arbalists and onagers decide to move over here to the right-hand side of Lix's economy. But the action is starting to come forward at the front of Lix's base now. Capped Rams trying desperately to push out and start taking down or reclaiming any sort of map control here for Lix, but with onagers firing behind the arbalists here from BacT, he's going to be in a nice position to be able to defend that. And Seadrab now coming in for BacT as well, so he's going to be in a really, really nice position to be able to start wiping out some of these buildings that have popped up outside of Lix's economy. But Lix has moved out. Finally, he's moved out to take this gold out here to the right-hand side of his economy and sending capped rams over to the left-hand side to try and retake some more of that gold there as well. BacT throwing up another castle out here toward the front of Lix's economy, which is fair enough because he doesn't actually have any other castles, I don't think. No, he has no other castles. The spectator dashboard doing my work for me there. So the trebuchet war is definitely going to be in favour of Lix, seeing as though BacT doesn't have any castles to produce trebuchets. Amazing methods of deduction they're coming in from me, but the onager shot's firing hard and completely wiping out that skirmisher army from Lix. And we can see that Lix is really, really pushing the envelope, pushing the he's pushing hard when it comes to resources. He's pretty much skint on everything except food, which he's floating a little bit of. Hence the fact that he's flooding these light cav, flooding these skirmishes, because that's all that he can actually flood at the moment. And obviously a gold army against a non-gold army, well, we know how that one's going to work out in the long run. And yeah, Lix recognizing the situation and calling GG. Oh man, what a game. Really, really nice game from BacT. It was quite exciting seeing a forward on Mongolia, which can often progress into just sort of wall up and boom sort of games, almost like Black Forest, but not quite. So the forward aggression was really, really nice to see from him. Really well defended from from Lix as well, but in the end it was just the gold. It's just the gold that Lix was cut off from by the forward aggression from BacT, and the map control. Really, in the end, the map control won it for BacT, in my opinion. But well played from both players. Really nice offense and really nice defense. And I'll update the score, and I'll see you guys in the next game.